Good evening, everyone. I am very honored to be able to speak with you this evening and talk about having a disability, competing in Special Olympics, and how being a part of Special Olympics helped me overcome one of the biggest challenges in my life. I was born with epilepsy, or as are more commonly referred to as seizures, and an intellectual disability. I had brain surgery at a very young age, which was very successful, and I've been seizure-free for many years. Having an intellectual disability does have, lots of challenges. For me, I really struggled academically. Some of the hardest years of my life were through elementary school. I really struggled to keep up with, all my fellow peers and friends, and really made me frustrated and angry and really sad. Because I think when you're a kid, you want to fit in with everyone. And for me, it was really hard to not be able to do that. And I often felt almost ashamed of my disability and that I wanted to hide it. I never really wanted to admit it, and I would do as much as I could to not let people know I had one. And for my first 12 years of my life, that was very much how it was. Thankfully, when I turned 13, I found Special Olympics, and it changed my life. I found Special Olympics through a high school teacher. She was a swim coach, and she said, there's an organization that provides sports programs for individuals with intellectual disabilities, and you've played hockey when you were younger and you're really into sports, and I think this would be a great fit for you. I decided to go try it out, and floor hockey was my first practice, and when I went there, I was automatically hooked. All the coaches and athletes, they were just so supportive, encouraging, didn't get down on you if you couldn't figure something out or took longer to figure out what you're doing or lined up on the wrong side of the floor. And I think most importantly, it provided an environment that allowed me to start to accept my disability and gave me an opportunity to show people that even though I had a disability, I have many abilities. And that meant so much to me. I think after the first program that year, I was involved in, 8 or 9 sports, which is what's wonderful about Special Olympics, and just tried to get involved as much as I could. After a little bit, I found out that there were competition opportunities that you could participate in events not just locally, but provincially across Canada, and even if you did well enough, you could qualify to represent Team Canada on the World Games stage. And for me, when I heard that, that became my ultimate goal, because I had grown up, I loved watching the Olympics. I always thought it was cool when, you'd watch the opening ceremonies and your country's name got called, and, if you got on the podium and won the gold medal, you'd get to hear your national anthem. And so when I heard that was an opportunity, I thought, that's my goal. That's what I'm working towards. I've been thankful to represent Canada 2 times, once in 2015 and also in 2017. In 2015, I was part of the basketball team. We did very well. We unfortunately came up short in the bronze medal game, but still had a really good experience. And after that, that became my next goal. I thought, okay, I've represented Canada, but if I do get the chance again, that's going to be my next goal, to try to bring a medal home and win one for my country. In 2017, I was competing in a different sport. I was in short track speed skating, which is a very odd sport. I know not a lot of people do that one, but was one I was really into, and got to compete in the World Games in Austria. And again, I was training really hard. I trained 5 days a week for that. I would be on the ice 3 days a week, and the other couple days it'd be weight training or some form of fitness, just so I could be in the best shape and really give myself the best chance to win a medal. About a month before the games, though, something tragic in my life happened that changed everything. It was January 27th, and I was working, and my dad stopped by, and came and said he was going to take me home from work, which was really unusual because he usually didn't leave work early. And I thought, okay, something's up, but I wasn't sure what it was. We got in the car, and while we were driving home, he told me that my sister, who was vacationing in Mexico, was in a tragic bus accident and had passed away. And I just remember those feelings of shock, sadness, anger, disbelief, and it was just speechless. Because I remember she had dropped me off at the airport to go when I was traveling a few days before she left, and I remember us talking and telling her, have a great time, can't wait to hear about your trip, see you soon. And now I have to deal with the fact that my sister's never coming back. And in that moment, everything that was important to me stopped. I didn't care about competing, I didn't care about World Games, nothing mattered. My sister was gone, and if she wasn't going to be here to see it, then what was the point of competing? Over the next 2 weeks, I had a really hard time with my sister's passing. I wasn't eating, I barely slept. I don't think I left the house very much, just I couldn't come to grips that she wasn't coming home. My sister was a huge part of my life. She had always been there for me. You know, having someone with a disability obviously is not easy, but she was always supportive. She was always encouraging and really behind everything that I did. I was thankful that a couple months before this had happened, we had went on a trip to D.C. For a few years, we had talked always about going to Washington, D.C., and it just never worked out. But thankfully, this time around, we were both able to go together and spend a few days there. And that's one of the happiest moments for me, because you never know when you lose someone what that last moment's going to be. And I'm thankful for the last moment that I did have with my sister in those last few months. Were such great memories that I'm always able to look back on, and it always brings me lots of happiness. I had to make the difficult decision, though, to decide if I still wanted to compete. It was about a month before games, and had to really think what I wanted to do. Thankfully, I had a really good support system that helped with that decision. My wife, who's in the audience tonight, my parents, friends, family, and people from Special Olympics, were really encouraging and said, this is what your sister would want. She wouldn't want you to give up your dream and something you're working for. You should go forward with this. I decided to make the decision to still compete, but the next challenge was, how do I motivate myself to keep on training? I barely leave the house. It was nothing for me to go to the gym. I was always excited to work out, and now I barely wanted to go outside for a walk. So I had to find a way, what was going to motivate me to get back and keep pursuing that dream that I had of winning a medal. One of the greatest things in life that I've learned is that no matter what you're going through, any difficult thing in your life, is you always have a choice. You can always choose on how you deal with that. You can let it get you down and weigh you down, or you can find a way to motivate yourself, to push you forward and help get you out of that funk. And for me, what that was is that I was going to dedicate my performance at the games to my sister. That if I won a medal, it was dedicated to her. And that really helped get me on the path to keep training for the month before I headed to games. Thankfully, I was able to fulfill that goal and win a silver medal for my sister, which is one of the proudest moments and the medal I'm most proud of. That day was really different for me, because usually when I competed the first race, I was terrified. I'm nervous. I don't really talk to anyone. I'm really scared. I just need to, similar to this, you just need to get out of the way. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Nerves just means you're excited, is what I've been told. But I remember that day I was really relaxed and just was super happy. My wife and my parents had attended, so I was getting to hang out with them. Was just super excited to compete, and my coach said I had the best race I ever did, a personal best, and just to win that silver medal for my sister, that was icing on the cake. Um, I think getting to receive that medal, I know my sister was looking down and sharing that moment with me, that really meant a lot. Because the pain of my sister, it doesn't go away. People ask, does it get easier? I don't think when you lose someone, it ever gets easier. I think you just find ways to help you get through it. And I think for me, that's knowing that I had so many great memories with her. I got to share 27 years with her. And that every day, I have the chance to make her proud. And I think that's what helps keep me going and helps me get through some of those difficult days. In closing, I just want to leave you with a quote, one of my favorites, from Nelson Mandela. And he had said that sports has the power to change the world. And for me, Special Olympics has changed my world. It has been there and created some of the best moments in my life, and it has been there and supported me and helped me through some of the darkest moments in my life as well. And I'm truly thankful for everything they've done, and I cannot imagine my life if I didn't have Special Olympics. And I really just want to thank all of you for being here and letting me share my story with you today. Thank you.